Hollow Knight is a masterpiece. From its story to its music to its art style, every aspect of this game is expertly crafted to create an incredible experience worth replaying several dozen times. While I could rant for hours about its incredible soundtrack, its beautiful atmosphere, or its poetic story, personally, the thing I love most about Hollow Knight is its combat. From how it works to how it feels, fighting in Hollow Knight is perfect. As it should be. I mean, it's 90% of the game, for crying out loud. Because Hollow Knight's progression is purely based on your ability to fight, failing to learn essential mechanics through the game's early enemies will result in you getting stuck. A lot. This is where most people's problem with the game lies. Hollow Knight is hard. It's nicknamed Bug Souls for a reason. While everyone has the opportunity to enjoy the wonderful adventure Hollow Knight offers, there are many that fall behind because they keep getting stuck at. For this reason, in this video I'll be explaining everything there is to know about Hollow Knight's combat, hopefully getting you past that stupid boss and allowing you to enjoy the rest of the game. Or to overcome some stupidly masochistic challenge you set for yourself because you've drained every other ounce of enjoyment from this game and need something to do. You heard me right. I'm not just teaching tips for beginners. I'm going to be talking about everything. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. Some friendly advice. If your method of fighting is brute forcing your way through everything at all times, just stop. Please, just stop. I guarantee you will die 100% of the times that you try this. Unless you have a stupid charm build, of course. Hollow Knight is designed to punish you for that sort of thing. The game wants you to learn to identify when you can attack and when you can't. Sometimes you just have to wait for your enemy to throw out a move you know you can dodge to actually attack. That's just how it is. This game is about patience, looking for an opening and striking when you see it. Sun Tzu once said, "So in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and strike at what is weak. Stop running headfirst into the enemy, you absolute baboon." But with all of these different bosses with their own unique attacks, how do you know when to strike? The answer is simple: trial and error. You'll find these opportunities by experimentation. Do I get hit when trying to attack here? Yes! Okay, next time let's wait until they're finished doing that before running in and attacking again. Is it better to stay in the air or stick to the ground for this boss? Well, considering the fact that I get hit more when I'm in the air than on the ground, I think I'll stay there, thanks. When can I heal during this boss fight? Let's try it here. Oh, that worked! Now I know I can heal here safely. Of course, this obvious methodology is true for nearly every video game in existence, and most people know it already. But I guarantee that some needed to hear it anyway. You're welcome, Kayla. If you're struggling to find opportunities to attack, that's understandable. Some bosses attack non-stop, forcing you to hit only once or twice between their strikes. Even if you don't see an opening, I guarantee there will be one. Just don't sit there out in the open slapping the boss and expecting him to just sit there and take it. Now, if you don't want to go through the painful process of dying 30 times over to figure out what to do to beat a boss, I don't blame you. If that's the case, the best thing I would suggest is watching how other people fight that boss. If you can't decide how to tackle boss attacks, just watch how other people do it. And I don't mean Noob Central.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm talking about experts, pros, people who know what they're doing. I used to watch videos like this when I was midway through the game, and they helped a ton. Each boss has their own secret behaviors that pros take advantage of in order to optimize. These help a lot when it comes to speedrunning, but also just to fighting them normally in general. While you may only learn little things from them, those little things can make a big difference. If you're still stuck, go watch someone else explain it to you. I'm not doing a breakdown video of all 47 bosses. I'm not. I'm seriously not. Don't ask me. Okay, maybe. Like any good Metroidvania, in Hollow Knight there are plenty of useful abilities you earn along your journey, which aid you as you progress through the game. And, like an even better Metroidvania, this wide array of tools at your disposal are just as useful in combat as they are to overcoming obstacles. So I'm going to do a quick run over of each of these moves and discuss the various uses each one has in battle. I won't talk about where you get them, but I will show you what they look like and what they do. So, yeah. For this game, the Mothwing Cloak is your dash, a job it does incredibly well. You can use it to glide across the map, as well as extending airtime to avoid ground attacks and boss fights. While the Mothwing Cloak is good, its upgrade, the Shadow Cloak, is even better. This broken move gives your dash complete invincibility, allowing you to pass through enemies and attacks without getting hurt. To stop it from being too overpowered, the developers gave it a recharge cooldown of 1.5 seconds. Despite this setback, the Shade Cloak is still the best dodging ability in the game by far. Because of its huge influence on gameplay, this makes mastering this move one of, if not the most vital aspect of Hollow Knight. The Vengeful Spirit is a solid spell. It's got mad damage, but it's quick and reliable. Both of these are enhanced by its upgrade, Shade Soul. Despite its below average base damage of 30, it's got a short cooldown, incredible range, and reliable size, perfect for dealing chip damage from a safe distance. Desolate Dive is a bad spell. Its damage is fine, its invincibility is cool, but its starting lag and end lag make it next to unusable. Good thing we're here for its upgraded counterpart instead, Descending Dark. Descending Dark is debatably the best spell in the game. Descending Dark's got a whopping base damage of 65, with a hitbox the size of a literal solar system.
That's quite big. Impressive.
For a move this powerful, you'd think the developers would nerf it like they did with the Shade Cloak. Nope. It's just a really good move without any drawbacks. Okay, well there is that like 0.5 seconds of startup and end lag, but who cares when the move gives you invincibility for nearly twice as long? What attacks you don't end up stalling out in the air, you'll just brush off with that sweet 0.8 seconds of invincibility. Heck yeah, baby. In fact, the invincibility the move offers is good even on its own. If you done did a goof and just used your Shade Cloak just as an unavoidable attack comes flying your way, Descending Dark can give you that precious moment of invincibility that you need, while doing a bit of damage on the side. Setting all of those stats aside, it's just really cool looking. I mean, look at that, that's awesome. S tier, easily my favorite spell. Abyss Shriek is literally Descending Dark, but for flying things. Now, while it does have a slightly higher base damage than Descending Dark, its hitbox only reaches up and out above the player. I mean, it's still absurdly massive, but that's to be expected at this point. This, along with Descending Dark, are probably your strongest offensive spells in combat. The Monarch Wings are Hollow Knight's double jump, and if I'm being honest, probably my favorite double jump of any platformer. Most platformers are designed so that your jump height can vary depending on how long you hold the jump button. And, with most platformers, unlike the first jump, the double jump's height is usually fixed and can't change. Unlike this, the Monarch Wings act exactly like your first jump, and you can change exactly how high you want to rise. This allows for much more avial versatility, allowing you to get the exact amount of airtime you want. I really wish more platformers had double jumps like this. I will never forgive Ori for this pathetic upgrade. Why is this double jump so bad? Last section I talked about the abilities at your disposal. Now I'm going to tell you about some cool stuff you can do with them. While Hollow Knight sets up multiple opportunities for you to pogo stuff throughout the game, it never directly teaches you how to perform it. Pogo is a very useful technique in which the player swings downwards at an enemy or obstacle while falling on it from above. Attacking down just before hitting the ground causes knockback from the nail strike to propel the player upwards. If done correctly and in quick succession, you can stay airborne indefinitely, or until the thing you're bouncing on dies. While at first this may seem like an interesting but overall useless technique, this ability is actually used for a lot of different things. Not just for traversing across hazardous terrain, but also as a way to deal big damage for airborne enemies, even if they try to fly away. Parrying, while being quite a cool and interesting technique, it's very difficult to pull off and even harder to utilize. A parry occurs when you and an opponent attack each other at the exact same time. A successful parry is rewarded with a split second of invincibility. This often gives you the opportunity to either get another hit in or dash away to avoid getting hit. But because the invincibility is so short, and because the timing is ridiculously precise, going for a parry usually isn't worth it. Unless you're goated and you just want to show off.
And that's basically everything there is to know about combat in Hollow Knight. There are a couple of tidbits here and there that I left out, but I think I covered the most important parts. Whether you're a struggling beginner or a struggling masochist, I hope you were able to learn something. Or at the very least, my stupid jokes gave you a good laugh. As always, critique is much appreciated. If you have something you want to say, I guarantee I'll read it. And with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your morning, noon, or night, and have a very Merry Christmas.